360 days is the last time the big train traveled to Alexandria and took down the Aces. Have 7 losses in between. Today, they look to get back on top. It's a battle of the 2 best teams in the Cal Ripken League. The big train and the Aces battle once again. The rivalry renewed, and the teams look for the top spot in the league. Alongside Adam Glover, I'm Eli Kleinmann here at Frank Mann Field in Alexandria, Virginia. And we are just moments away from baseball in what should be a powerhouse showdown. The big train 8-2, led by manager Sal Colangelo. And let's give the big train lineup. Dixon Williams once again leads it off at second base. Connor Rasmussen hits second. He's the shortstop. Jeffrey Hurd bats third and is the designated hitter. Jacob Orr in the cleanup spot from Maryland. Carter Cunningham, who had the home run last night, bats fifth from ECU. Jason Schiavone returns to the lineup. He's catching tonight from James Madison. Jack Guerrero, the UNC Wilmington third baseman, bats seventh. John Long, the right fielder from UNC, hits 8th, and Zeb Ruddle rounds things out. The LSU center fielder bats 9th. And on the mound, they face the right-hander from Alexandria, Cameron Keshok. He leads the Aces onto the field. The 8-1 Aces with the best record in the league, but winner tonight takes that top spot, as we are already a quarter of the way through the regular season.
Yeah, Cameron Keshok was a class of 2022 out of Spanish Fort High School. He's got a 3-pitch mix, a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup, with that fastball topping out at around 92 miles an hour with a good spin rate on that fastball, over 2,200, a Auburn commit. So a right-hander who is very talented on the mound, and the big train are going to have their work cut out for him. Just
finished his freshman year with the Tigers. As we get going, Dixon Williams stands in. Keshok ready on the mound. The first pitch home, and the fastball just below the knees. A ball and no strikes. Keshok making his second appearance of the season. Pitched an inning 3 days ago against the Giants. Did not allow a run. As the 1-0 downstairs, another fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. The Alabama native makes his way up to Virginia. The 2-0 to Williams, and he pops one high and foul down the third base side and out of play. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Nice crowd here in Alexandria. A lot of these away games we've played at haven't had much of a crowd, but the Aces fans coming out to support them.
Keshok's 2-1, and Williams rolls it right back up the middle. It skips off of second base and bounds its way into center field. A leadoff single, and Dixon Williams stays hot, extends his 4-game hit streak to 5, and is at first with nobody out. And Connor Rasmussen comes to the plate, a fellow ECU Pirate. They man 3 of the 4 infield positions tonight, just like they did last night against the Braves. Lefty at the plate, righty on the mound. The first pitch, and Rasmussen takes outside with a fastball, a ball and no strikes. Bethesda rolls in on a 5-game win streak after losing a pair, first to the Aces, then the Crop Dusters. 1-0, runner on the move. It's a pitch taken by Rasmussen, throw down to second, and Dixon Williams dives in safely. The throw a little to the right of the second base bag, and the shortstop Grego did a nice job to keep it in the infield and apply the tag, but it's late, and there's a runner at second after the stolen base. Count 2 balls, no strikes to Rasmussen as the big train try and strike first.
Yeah, we'll see if Connor takes a swing here, and a good hitter's count. That runner now in scoring position. Try to move him over at the very least.
2-0, and he does swing away and fouls one down the third base line. Out of play. It's 2 balls and a strike. Big train in the black road uniforms with the gray pants and the black hat with the gray brim. Aces wearing the navy uniforms, navy caps, and white pants. 2-1. Upstairs with the fastball, gets past the catcher Nicholson, and Dixon Williams races over to third on the wild pitch. It puts a runner at third with nobody out, and the count 3 balls and a strike to Rasmussen.
Allen nowhere near the catcher, well over his head to the backstop.
(3-1). Rasmussen swings away and pops one foul behind the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Seats here at Frank Mann Field don't go very far back. Just some bleachers, about 5 to 10 rows in each set. Here's the 3-2. Rasmussen takes strike 3, a fastball in the inside corner, and he goes down for out number 1. First strikeout of the day for Cameron Keyshock.
Yeah, Keyshock's a strikeout thrower. He's that's kind of his thing. 22 1/3 innings and 3 summers on the perfect game circuit back when he was in high school. 34 strikeouts during his time. So expect him to use that powerful fastball that he has to try to punch out a lot of these big train hitters.
Jeffrey Hurd to the plate, and the lefty swings away and fouls one back off the fence behind the plate. No balls and a strike. No score, top of the first, 1 down, and Dixon Williams stands at third. Hurd had a sacrifice fly in the top of the first last night. 0-1. Takes a fastball on the outside corner. Called a strike, 0-2. Hurd leads the league in RBIs. Looking for number 18 in the top of the first. 0-2. Swing and a miss at the fastball. It's a second straight strikeout for Keyshock, and quickly sets down 2 straight big train with a runner at third. And there's 2 down for Jacob Orr.
Yeah, it tells you Keyshock has a lot of confidence in his fastball to go 3 in a row to Jeffrey Hurd, who's a fastball hitter who found off a couple of pitches prior as well. A lot of confidence in that pitch. Now 2 big strikeouts.
Orr at the plate takes a first pitch slider, called a strike. The first righty that Keyshock faces. 0-1 the count with 2 down. 0-1 pitch. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner. 0-2. First game in Alexandria between these 2 teams. They will play 2 more after tonight. Here's the 0-2 from Keyshock. Called strike 3. He strikes out 3 straight after the leadoff single. And the big train cannot strike in the top of the first with a runner at third. Cameron Keyshock does brilliantly to get through the heart of the order. To the bottom of the first, it's the Aces coming to bat. No score. To the bottom of the first at Frank Mann Field. No score as the Aces come to bat. Let's give you the Aces starting lineup. Tim Nicholson leads it off, the catcher at the top of the order. Corey Taylor, the left fielder from Eastern Michigan, bats second, and Gavin Miller, the Auburn third baseman, hits third. Jonah Oster, the Campbell first baseman. In the cleanup spot, Alex Wade hits fifth, and Nate Polo, the designated hitter, bats sixth. Dylan Grego, the shortstop, bats seventh. Chris Esquivel, the USD San Diego second baseman, hits eighth. And Nick Gregory, another Ball State product, rounds things out. He's the center fielder tonight. And on the mound, they face Patrick Galley, who has had a fantastic start to his summer. The Ole Miss product who redshirted for the Rebels. A 1.35 ERA in 2 starts, has gone 6 2/3 innings, has 7 strikeouts and just 2 walks allowed.
Yeah, we got a battle of a couple of Power 5 pitchers here. Galley, of course, redshirted, like you said, at Ole Miss, but he was a 3-year letter winner at Biloxi High School, posting a sub-3 ERA and over 59 1/3 innings of work. Team captain, team MVP, and team pitcher of the year in his senior season.
So Tim Nicholson stands in. The George Washington product. Galley winds the first pitch, a fastball called a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. A hazy day in Alexandria. The sun sets down the left field line, 0-1 pitch. Nicholson chops one slowly down the third base line. Guerrero, the third baseman, races in, but he scoops it up and has no throw. Hit too softly, and Nicholson able to beat it out for an infield single.
Nothing that Guerrero could do about that one. Hit slowly enough, and Guerrero just decides to eat it rather than try to make a throw with Nicholson already beating it down that line. Just a tough start for Galley out on the mound.
So Corey Taylor, the right-hander, steps up with a runner at first and nobody out. In his second year with Alexandria, watches the first pitch fastball called a strike at the knees, 0-1. Off to a much better start than he had last year, hitting .357 through 7 games. Galley gives a look over to first, 0-1. Fastball just off the inside corner, even at a ball and a strike. Last year in 9 games for the Aces, Taylor hit .143. So much improved, and the power has come along with it. Already a pair of home runs. 1-1. Fastball just above the A on the Aces jersey. It's a ball upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Galley works from the stretch, set at the belt, 2-1. And Taylor pops one up high and foul over the first base side and headed for the parking lot. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nicholson with a 2-step lead off of first. Galley keeps a close eye on him, 2-2. Breaking ball in the dirt, nice block by Schiavone, keeps it in front. And Nicholson remains at first, but the count moves to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Tell you what, Galley's fastball looks really, really good right now. Coming out of high school, it was at 92 miles an hour, and it certainly looks a little bit quicker than that tonight.
Can tick into the mid-90s. Nicholson with his lead, 4 stolen bases on the summer. He goes on the 3-2. Taylor pops it up. First base side behind the plate. The catcher Schiavone calls for it and reaches low about belt high to make the catch for out number 1. Nicholson returns to first, and that's the first out of the bottom of the first.
Good to have Jason Schiavone back in the lineup, missing a little bit of time, but he was a big part of this team through the first, say, 4 or 5 games, playing catcher, playing first base, hitting the ball really well. Sal Colangelo happy to have him back in the lineup.
No score, bottom of the first with 1 down. A pitch to Gavin Miller. And he takes a slider in for a strike, 0-1. Schiavone, primarily a catcher at James Madison, but because of a lack of depth with regional play and players coming late, he played at first, he played in right, and he caught early in the summer. 0-1, another slider, a check swing from Miller. Did he go? No, he did not, according to our first base umpire tonight. It's a ball and a strike. Galley's 1-1. Fastball right at the knees, called a strike, 1-2. And Miller behind in the count. Miller with an RBI in every game so far he's played this summer. 1-2. Slider, called strike 3. And that's the first strikeout of the day for Galley. There's 2 away.
Yeah, Patrick's really got that breaking ball going. That fastball has looked great as well, but when you can have the command if you're breaking and off-speed pitches early on in a game, that's a good sign that you're going to have success, and he's got it as a put-away pitch already. Just 2 outs in the first.
So Jonah Oster to the plate. The Campbell Camel. Did not play last time these teams met, as the first pitch, a fastball called a strike at the knees. Campbell still competing in regional play at that time.
Another very good team from those southern states.
0-1. Swings and pops it up behind the plate. Schiavone peeks over his shoulder, but does not pop out of the squat. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. A runner at first after the leadoff single from Tim Nicholson, but no score. 0-2. Nicholson goes, swing and a miss. A strikeout ends the inning, and Galley returns the favor. A leadoff single allowed, but a pair of punch outs, and he works through the first. On to the second from Frank Manfield. No score. To the top of the second we go. It's no score between the Big Train and the Aces. A battle of the 2 best teams in the Cal Ripken League, both leading their division, and a battle for first place tonight. Big Train looking to get the offense started. The first pitch into Carter Cunningham, a swing and a miss at a fastball. No balls and a strike. Made a big impact last night in his debut for the Big Train. Hit a 2-run shot against the Braves in Lorton. 0-1. Lifts one down the left field line. Long run for Taylor, and it drops in front of him for a base hit. Just 2 feet to the right of that left field line. And Carter Cunningham is aboard with a leadoff single in the second. Jason Schiavone to the plate with a runner at first and nobody out. Big Train led off the top of the first with a base hit, but Dixon Williams did not score. First pitch to Schiavone. Outside with a slider, a ball and no strikes. And it didn't look like Schiavone was fully ready for that pitch, still working his way into the box as Keyshak threw. 1-0. Swing and a miss at a hard fastball at the knees. A ball and a strike. Schiavone in the lineup for the first time since June 11th on Sunday against the Grays. Throw back to first, and Cunningham with a small lead back on his feet. One. Schiavone grounds one sharply by the first baseman Ostern into right field. Around second and towards third goes Cunningham. He's in on his feet. The throw goes into second, and the Big Train have runners at the corners with nobody out after the single from Schiavone.
Both hitters in this inning, Cunningham and Schiavone, going to the opposite field. It's something that Sal Colangelo really has to like, something we haven't seen a lot of pull hitting from this team, but seeing these guys go to the opposite field is great.
So Jack Guerrero to the plate with runners at the corners and nobody out. Holds the pink bat above his left shoulder. The pitch in, and a fastball called a strike on the inner half. 0-1. Guerrero with an RBI in his last start against the Giants 2 nights ago. 0-1. Downstairs with a fastball. It's a ball and a strike. Part of that 26-0 win the Big Train had at home. 1-1. Guerrero lines one.
That went through the net, went through the fence.
It never went over the fence.
Yeah, it went through that fence over there.
A hole somewhere in that fence. Over on the third base side. Ball and 2 strikes with nobody out. Runners at the corners. 1-2. Runner goes, and Guerrero fouls it right back to the fence behind the plate. Stays a ball and 2 strikes, and Schiavone has to head back to first. Big Train had a chance to get on the board in the top of the first with a runner at third and nobody out. Unable to do so. 3 straight strikeouts from Kishak. Another chance here in the second. 1-2 home, and Guerrero laces one the other way down the third base line and out of play again.
Yeah, I don't think he's sitting on a fastball right now. I think he's sitting something off speed, because every single one of those fastballs, he swung and fouled them off late, going out behind the third base dugout or behind the bleachers over there on the left side. So if he gets off speed.
It's the 1-2, another fastball, and he does it again, fouls it over the seats on the third base side and out of play. It stays a ball and 2 strikes.
If he gets something off speed and doesn't change his approach, he should get a hold of it, because he's swinging late on fastballs right now.
Taps his bat on the plate with the open stance, stands back in. 1-2 again. There's the breaking ball, but it's outside, and it evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kishak set at the belt. 2-2 home. Guerrero nubs one the other way, and it goes foul. Stays in the ballpark, but lines it behind the third base coach. Down the third base line for the Big Train. Stays 2 balls and 2 strikes, and a battle between the 7-hitter for the Big Train and Kishak. Another 2-2. Guerrero slides it back up the middle, a base hit. Into score comes Cunningham. The Big Train fire the opening salvo in Alexandria, 1-0.
There's Guerrero working along at bat, fouling off a lot of good pitches and driving that one back up the middle. And man, the Big Train, they've looked different from that first inning when they struck out 3 times in a row. They're getting a hold of some of these balls.
3 straight hits for Bethesda. Schiavone at second, Guerrero at first for John Long. Another lefty in this lineup. Kishak deals. Long squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes a strike. That plants itself right at the knees. 0-1. Kishak stands 6-7 on the mound. A look back to second. 0-1. Long bunts it. It takes a couple hops down the third base line. The third baseman Miller throws to first, and it is low and in the dirt. Oster can't scoop it out. John Long might have beaten it out anyway. And the bases are loaded for the Big Train with nobody out.
Yeah, I think he did beat that one out. Long was, or has, some of the best speed on this team, and that ball went off the glove over there by the covering second baseman. And now it's great to see the Big Train just kind of moving the line right now, capitalizing, even if he wasn't going to beat that one out, capitalizing off a mistake made by their second baseman, Esquivel. And now they're loaded up.
Zeb Ruddle to the plate. Chance to do some real damage in this top of the second. Already a run in and nobody out. First pitch home. Ruddle takes a strike. Downstairs, 0-1. Did not have an RBI in the 26-run game against the Giants 2 nights ago, his last start. 0-1, and he lifts one high and foul down the third base line and well out of play. It's no balls and 2 strikes. behind in the count. Bases loaded. 1-2. 0-2. And it's downstairs. A ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, tried to give Ruddle a changeup there, a little low and outside after Ruddle had previously swung late on a fastball.
Count 1-2. Here's the pitch to Ruddle. He grounds one to the first baseman, Oster, down the line. He throws home. The catcher, Nicholson, has his right foot planted on the plate. That gets Schiavone on the force out, and then Nicholson holds on to the baseball. So fielder's choice for Ruddle. No runs come in to score, but the Big Train still have the bases loaded with 1 away.
And they ruled that an error on the play that Long had. I'm not sure if they ruled it on, I thought they would have ruled it on the second baseman for dropping the ball. I didn't see that ball hit the ground when it was thrown.
As the first pitch to Williams, he pops it high and foul down the third base side, out of play, 0-1. Back to the top of the order for the Big Train. Williams had a single an inning ago. At third is Guerrero, at second is Long, at first is Ruddle. 0-1, and a fastball downstairs paints the corner, 0-2. Big Train, the best offense in the league, looking to put up a crooked number in the second. 0-2. Williams lifts it into left field. Taylor ranges in, makes the sliding grab for out number 2. The throw comes home, and it sneaks under the legs of the catcher, Nicholson, but Guerrero holds it third. And Corey Taylor with a nice play in left to save a run. There's 2 away.
Yeah, good slide. Guerrero originally coming in from third, had to go back and tag after that ball was caught. And then the right-hander, Keshak, was not backing up home plate. That's what you got to do in that situation. Even if that runner doesn't come home, you got to back it up in case that ball gets away. Alexandria very lucky that the Big Train didn't get a run off of that.
So Connor Rasmussen to the plate with 2 away. And the pitch into him. He grounds it sharply to the right side, right at the second baseman, Esquivel. He fields belt high, flips it to first in time for out number 3. The Big Train get a run across, but strand the bases loaded and come up with just 1. To the bottom of the second we go. It's Big Train 1, Aces 0. Bottom of the second, Big Train lead 1-0. The Aces come to bat. It's 5-6-7. Alex Wade to get things started. But it felt like an inning in the top of the second where the Big Train could have gotten a lot more than 1.
Yeah, it's back-to-back innings where they've had runners in scoring position. The first didn't come up with anything and only 1. Kind of a disappointment.
As Wade takes a fastball downstairs, a ball and no strikes.
And you need those runs desperately against a team like this. This is your biggest competition here.
Wade red hot as of late on a 6-game hit streak. 1-0, he lifts it in the air to right center. Ruddle, the center fielder, races in, and he makes the catch in the right center field gap for out number 1. one away. Nate Polo to the plate. His first start against the Big Train this summer. Was not on the team yet last time these squads met up. As Galley winds with the over-the-head delivery, and he fires a fastball in for a strike, 0-1. Galley, you mentioned that fastball, plenty of velocity on it, 0-1. Another fastball that Polo just fouls off the glove of Schiavone. No balls and 2 strikes. This pass followed Ole Miss as a freshman ran it all the way up to 97 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's a lot of ticks up in velocity in a short amount of time.
0-2. Outside with the slider, a ball and 2 strikes. Imagine that getting into the college weightlifting program.
Right.
That comes with all college athletics, certainly played a role. As he deals a 1-2. Swing and a miss. The slider gets Polo for the strikeout. 3rd strikeout of the day for Galley, and there's 2 down. Dylan Grego to the plate. With 2 away and nobody on. The Big Train up 1-0. The lefty stands in the first pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball. No balls and a strike. Grego in just his 3rd game with the Aces. Did not play last night, 0-1. Inside with a fastball, a ball and a strike the count with 2 away. It took extra innings for the Aces to take down the T-Bullets last night in Silver Spring. 1-1. Fastball. Pinpoints at the knees. It's a ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. Galley shakes off Schiavone on the first pitch given. Now he has one he likes. 1-2. And the slider just outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Galley set into the windup. 2-2. And Grego lifts one down the left field line. Long run for the left fielder, and it lands foul over by the Aces bullpen. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes as Grego has to return back to the plate. Chris Esquivel, the on-deck hitter, hands him his bat. Readjust that left sleeve as he stands back in.
I'd like to see Galley maybe try to go back to another slider here. What he struck out Polo on. Has a chance to do it here as well.
2-2. Slider, a check swing. Did he go? According to our 3rd base umpire, and he did not. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. After Galley almost caught him on the slider. But 2 away, he winds and deals. And Grego taps a fastball slowly back to the screen. It stays 3-2. Outfield shifts slightly to the left. The infield straight away. 3-2. Grego fouls one the other way on the fastball. Over the 3rd base seats and out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Galley stares into Schiavone for the sign. Winds the 3-2. Fastball just downstairs, and it's ball 4. A 2-out walk for Grego, and it brings Chris Esquivel to the plate.
That's tough for Galley because that was a real long plate appearance for Grego. Fell behind early. Really close call on the check swing as well. Now you have to hope that Galley, can bring it back here, try to get Esquivel out.
First pitch to him and a fastball downstairs, just above the shoe tops of Esquivel. A ball and no strikes for the San Diego native. Goes to college in his hometown at USD. 1-0. Takes a fastball on the inside corner. A perfect pitch from Galley. 1-1. One from Galley downstairs with another fastball. 2 balls and a strike. Esquivel is a 2-sport athlete in high school. Played water polo and baseball. 2-1. Pops one up behind the plate and it gets out of play. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's primarily a West Coast sport.
Water polo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't have any in Florida, which you would assume warmer weather.
Best college teams all from the state of California. 2-2. Well upstairs with a slider. 3 balls and 2 strikes. There are teams on the East Coast, but
yeah,
the 4 best teams all reside in the state of California. 2 outs, the runner on the move on the 3-2 pitch, and Esquivel taps it off the plate, and it skips up and hits him in the backside of the helmet. So we do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 away in the bottom of the second, 1-0 Big Train. The Aces looking to draw even. 3-2. Esquivel taps one softly, back out towards the mound. Galley comes off the field. He takes his time, fires to first, and it gets Esquivel to end the inning. A 2-out walk left stranded. Galley, scoreless 2 innings of work. We head to the 3rd. It's the Big Train 1 and the Aces nothing on the Big Train Baseball Network. Top of the 3rd from Frank Mann Field. It's the Big Train 1, the Aces nothing. As Jeffrey Hurd comes up, 3-4-5 due up for the Big Train to face Cameron Keshak, who has pulled a Houdini act not once but twice in 2 innings of work. Just allowed the 1 run.
Yeah, this is where the offense needs to wake up a bit and score some runs. Help out Galley.
First pitch to Hurd and the fastball dips below the zone. A ball and no strikes.
You're getting a real good start from the right-hander right now from Ole Miss.
The Big Train starter tonight. 1-0 to Hurd. Downstairs with a slider. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
See if Hurd takes a hack here, 2-0.
Here is the 2-0, and he does swing away and lifts it high and foul behind the plate. Well over the seats. 2 balls and a strike. Hurd hitting over 400 in the early part of the season. Pair of home runs, 17 RBIs. 2-1. He gets a hold of a slider and lifts it to right field. Wade, the right fielder, drifts back and reaches up to make the catch for out number 1. And Hurd just gets under it. Jacob Orr to the plate with one away. The left fielder tonight for the Big Train, heading into his third year in Maryland this upcoming fall. First pitch in and a swing and a miss at the slider. No balls and a strike. Made 35 starts this past year for the Big Ten champs. 0-1. Skips in the dirt and past the catcher Nicholson to the backstop, even at a ball and a strike. Orr waits the 1-1, and he chops one softly foul towards the third base dugout. Hits off the netting in front of the Aces dugout, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Keyshawk rocks and deals a 1-2. Orr grounds it sharply up the middle, past the mound, and into center field for a base hit. Orr takes a turn at first, but stays there with a single. And with one out, the Big Train have a runner aboard. The 5th hit of the day for Bethesda. That brings up Carter Cunningham. He led off the second and would come in to score as he fouls the first pitch on a half swing over the third base seats and out of play, 0-1. A tall lefty at the plate against the tall righty on the mound, 0-1. And the fastball taken outside, a ball and a strike. Cunningham in his second year of summer baseball played for the Charlottesville Tom Sox last summer. It's the 1-1, a called strike with a fastball in the inner half. It's 1-2 with one down.
This is a guy who's been an extra base machine in college.
It's just been an overall great hitter. 1-2. And he lines one back off the screen. It stays a ball and 2 strikes. The runner at first, one down, and a 1-0 Big Train lead.
He's only got 79 career hits in college, but 28 of them extra base hits. This is a guy who's getting on base and driving in runs for a good ECU team.
1-2. Rolls a slider, foul down the first base side off the Big Train dugout. Stays a ball and 2 strikes. Playing at his third college, started at Gardner-Webb in the shortened 2020 season, then went to Florida Southwestern State in 2021 before returning to major college baseball with the ECU Pirates. 1-2. Lines one softly to the right side. The second baseman, Esquivel fields. Flips to the shortstop, Grego at second for one. The throwback to first takes Oster, the first baseman, off the bag, and Cunningham able to reach on the fielder's choice.
Good to see Cunningham kind of beat that one out. Not really known for his speed. Can run very well, but again, more of a power, extra base hit kind of guy. Been able to leg that one out on a ground ball to second base and at the very least keep this inning going for Schiavone, who had a base hit in his last at-bat.
The right-hander at the plate. First pitch to him, and he swings and pops it up behind the plate. Nicholson gives a quick look and realizes it's headed over the fence, and it's no balls and a strike. Schiavone with the green tape on the light-colored bat. 0-1. Takes a strike. Down 0-2. Plenty of pine tar to go along with the tape. Not much of a risk of him losing that bat when he swings. Off of first is Cunningham. He's on the move. 0-2 pitch. Schiavone lines one to deep right center field. The center fielder, Gregory, in a full sprint backwards, able to make the catch and track it down in front of the warning track for out number 3. Schiavone hits one hard, but the center fielder is there, and the inning comes to an end. One hit, one left for the Big Train. On to the bottom of the third. It's 1-0 with Gregory, and then the top of the order due up for the Aces. 9-1-2 due up for the Aces in the bottom of the third. They trail 1-0 to the big train here in Alexandria. Second of 5 regular season meetings between the two teams. A matchup long dominated by the big train, but the Aces have had the Bethesda number as of late. 7 straight wins for Alexandria.
And we got to be right back here in exactly a week. Go home for 5 consecutive home games in 6 days. And then back on the road.
The longest homestand for the big train this summer. As Nick Gregory stands in. Last man to face Patrick Galley in this ball game. First pitch. Swings at the first pitch and lines it high off the fence. 0-1. The Ball State product hit .261 for Ball State this year in his first year with the program, after spending a year at Parkland. 0-1. Takes a fastball outside, a ball and a strike. Parkland located in Champaign, Illinois, the home state of Gregory. 1-1. And a fastball hits the spot right where Schiavone wants it, at the knees. A ball and 2 strikes the count. Galley working quickly. 1-2. Slider, swing and a miss. A strikeout of Gregory, the 4th of the day for Galley, and there's 1 away.
Yeah, he showed off everything in that at bat. Had to change up a couple of pitches prior, then went to that fastball at the knees, and then goes with the slider. Galley with good command of all of his pitches so far in this game.
Back to the top of the order for Tim Nicholson. Had an infield single his last time. He squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes a slider in for a strike. 0-1. Galley works the windup. 0-1 pitch, and that slider skips in the dirt. Schiavone cannot scoop it cleanly. It's to the backstop. Does not matter with nobody aboard. 1-1 the count with nobody on. 1 down in a 1-0 big train lead. The pitch in, a swing and a miss. A fastball, a ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 to Nicholson. He pops it up on the right side and out of play over the seats. A ball and 2 strikes.
See if Galley goes back to that slider. It's his go-to pitch right now.
1-2, a fastball loops it into shallow right field over the head of the second baseman, Williams. It drops in front of the right fielder Long, and it goes down as a second soft base hit for Nicholson, but he's aboard with a 1 away in the bottom of the third.
And just off the end of the bat, Alexandria with a big base hit there. That's the tying run over at first, and of course you're in those top 3 in the lineup right now who can do some real damage.
Corey Taylor steps up. First pitch to him. He lifts it in the air to right field. The right fielder, John Long, goes back, turns at the warning track. It's over his head. Around second and to third is Nicholson. He takes a big turn around the bag, stays there. Long scoops it up and fires it into the cutoff man, Dixon Williams, the second baseman, who rifles it home. It's a double for Taylor, and runners at second and third with only 1 away for the Aces. A chance to tie the game or even take the lead.
And not a great route by John Long. That ball quickly curving back towards right field. He was running towards right center, got him turned around, couldn't make the play. And interesting to see Galley immediately go back to a fastball there. He didn't have great command of it a few pitches prior, gave up the base hit, and then just gave up the extra base hit. Kind of abandoned anything off speed over the last 3 or 4 pitches.
Let's see what he does here to Gavin Miller. The corner's in for the big train with 1 down. And the first pitch, Miller attacks and hacks it right back to the screen. No balls and a strike.
Yeah, the pitch prior to Nicholson, prior to the one getting the base hit, Galley shook off a sign, which I presume was probably a fastball, spiked a slider in the dirt, and hasn't gone back to a breaking ball since then.
0-1 hits Gavin Miller square in the back, right in between the 2 and the 0 on the back of his jersey. Looks like it was a slider, and the bases are loaded after the hit by pitch.
Yeah, took something off on that one, either that or changeup, couldn't quite tell. But not a good grip on it, and Galley in his first real situation here where he's got to be careful with the location of some of these pitches.
So Jonah Oster to the plate. 1 out, bases loaded. Big Train up just a run. Galley chooses to work from the windup. The first pitch home and a big cut from Oster. He comes up empty, no balls and a strike on a fastball just below the knees. At third is Nicholson, at second is Taylor, at first is Miller for the cleanup man. And on the 0-1, Oster swings away and pops it up to the right side. It's the second baseman, Williams, who ranges onto the outfield grass to make the catch. And Nicholson holds at third, a big out number 2. And Galley 1 out away from escaping the jam with no damage.
Yeah, it's massive. Just off the end of the bat, Oster was swinging to pick up at least a few RBIs on the pitch prior, and Galley goes back to that fastball with him not ready for it.
So Alex Wade to the plate. Fly out to center in his last at-bat with 2 down and a swing and a miss at a hard fastball. No balls and a strike.
Yeah, they're sitting on off-speed pitches right now with that slider again early on in this game being a big put-away pitch and a big starter pitch for him, and Galley's taking advantage.
0-1 inside with a fastball. A ball and a strike. Wade, another Auburn product in this lineup for the Aces, looking to come through. 1-1. Grounds one down the third baseline. It's the third baseman Guerrero who scoops it up on the backhand, takes it to the third base bag himself to get the force out, and the inning comes to an end. Galley works around a bases loaded situation, and the Aces still scoreless through 3. On to the 4th from Alexandria, 1-0 Big Train. Top of the 4th, 1-0 Big Train, and Patrick Galley did an excellent job to work through the bottom of the 3rd without allowing a run.
Yeah, he got that ground ball over to Guerrero, who took the short route, the smart play, able to beat out the throw over to third, or excuse me, beat out the runner over at third and get the force out there. And great to see him have command of that fastball, and those last two hitters go back to that pitch that has been touching 95 miles an hour today and get 2 huge outs to get out of it.
Well, you mentioned Guerrero making an excellent play at third. He's up to the plate to lead off the top of the fourth. Big Train looking for more offense, up 1-0. Pitch in. And a fastball skips in the dirt and hits right off the umpire. Says, I'm all right. Says, let's keep going. Doesn't need a break. So Keyshock resets on the mound. A ball and no strikes to the Big Train third baseman. 1-0. Swing and a miss, and a slider in the dirt. A ball and a strike. Guerrero with the purple cleats. 1-1. Called strike with a fastball in the outer half. 1-2. Purple part of the color scheme for UNC Wilmington, where Guerrero spends most of his year. 1-2. Takes downstairs with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Taps the pink bat on the plate as he resets in the box. Keyshock ready on the mound. 2-2. Guerrero chases downstairs. It's a strikeout as Nicholson, the catcher, applies the tag for out number 1.
Nice little sequence there, ending on the off-speed pitch. Guerrero wasn't seeing the fastball all that great earlier on until he got that base hit. If you remember, he was swinging late a lot and then goes back to sitting on fastball.
As Long takes the first pitch. Fastball just outside, a ball and no strikes.
Yeah, it goes back to sitting on fastball, just not ready for that off-speed pitch.
4th strikeout of the day for Keyshock. 1-0 to Long. He takes a slider, called a strike on the outer half. It's even at 1-1. Long reached on an error back in the second, but could be argued he beat it out anyway. 1-1 pitch. Downstairs with a fastball. Did he go? No. On the appeal to third. 2 balls and a strike. Big Train would love to get Long speed on here in the 4th as he swings through a 2-1 fastball and makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. Locked in a pitcher's duel. Just the 1 run. Came back in the second. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Long strikes out. The 5th strikeout of the day for Keyshock. He striked out back-to-back Big Train, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, he got Long on 3 fastballs. John not seeing it, swinging late all 3 times. And similar to Guerrero in his last at-bat as well, also fouled off a couple of fastballs, swinging late and hitting them out of play.
So Zeb Ruddle to the plate with 2 down. Looking to get something started, and he takes a strike just a little low, but called a strike anyway. It's no balls and a strike that count. Big Train offenses had been held quiet today. 0-1. And Ruddle fouls it back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. This is the battle of the top 2 offenses in the league. The Big Train, who have played 1 more game than the Aces, have scored 45 more runs.
Yeah, we've had, what, 4 mercy rules in the last 5 games, I believe?
0-2 to Ruddle. Grounds 1 to the right side. Esquivel bends over and fields above his shoe tops. Tosses to first for out number 3, and the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Big Train. Keyshock through 4. It's 1-0 Big Train on the Big Train Baseball Network as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Big Train in Alexandria, Virginia. Big Train and Aces, top two teams in the league, squaring off for the second time this season and locked in a pitcher's duel. Big Train with the best ERA in the Cal Ripken League at 2.89. As Nate Polo stands in to face Patrick Galley, a guy whose ERA is well below that. First pitch home, a half swing from Polo, but our home plate umpire says he went around. No balls and a strike. Galley, an ERA sub 1.5 as he works into his third start. 0-1, swing and a miss at the changeup. Downstairs, it's 0-2. Deep breath on the mound for the Big Train right-hander. Holds his glove against his left shoulder. Now works the windup. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. A strikeout of Polo. It's the second strikeout of the day for Polo and the fifth for Galley on the mound. One down.
Yeah, really utilizing the changeup in that at-bat. Just swinging over top of all three of them so far. Hasn't used that pitch as much compared to the fastball or the slider, but he's got a real good change.
As Dylan Grego stands in and on the first pitch, lifts it high and foul over the third base seats and out of play. 0-1 the count. Galley, just 3 hits allowed. 3 1/3 innings. Chance to make this his longest start of the season as the 0-1 fouled over the third base seats again. 0-2. He has gone 3 1/3. He's gone 3 1/3 in each of the last 2 starts. Through 3 1/3 right now. 0-2. Skips in the dirt. Grego holds up just in time as it goes right past Schiavone, and the Big Train might have actually caught a break by Grego not swinging the bat on that slider in the dirt. One, two. Grego. This time he chases one downstairs, another slider in the dirt. This time Schiavone scoops it up and tags him out. Strikeout number 6 for Galley. There's 2 away in the bottom of the fourth.
He's looking great so far. This is one of the first games this season that's been really, really close for the Big Train, a pitcher's duel, and Galley has lived up to.
As Esquivel takes one upstairs, a ball and no strikes on the fastball.
Yeah, he's lived up to being the #1 guy right now in this rotation so far.
Winds and deals a 1-0. Skips in the dirt. The fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. The Big Train have an excellent 1-2 punch with Galley and Ryan Erdelschweiger, who won Cal Ripken League Pitcher of the Week last week. 2-0. Swing and a miss at a fastball. It's 2 balls and a strike to Esquivel. Both guys with an ERA sub 1.5. 2-1 pitch. And that fastball catches the inside corner. Called a strike. 2-2 with 2 down.
It's been a bit since we've seen Erdelschweiger out on the mound.
2-2 pitch. And Esquivel fouls it right back to the screen with 2 down and stays alive. Nobody aboard. Bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Big Train.
It's back on the 10th, the last time we saw Erdelschweiger pitch at home against the T-Bolts.
2-2. Half swing from Esquivel. Did he go around? He did not. On a slider low and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. Mentioned Erdelschweiger, a 1.13 ERA through 2 starts.
Kaylee Tallman, our on-field reporter, caught up with him after his last start.
3-2. Called strike 3, and the inning comes to an end. Galley strikes out the side. It's strikeout number 7 for the Bethesda right-hander. We're through 4 in Alexandria. 1-0, the Big Train lead. New pitcher on the mound for the Aces is Reese Crochet, a left-hander from George Washington. Finished his freshman year, and the Alexandria native takes over so far this summer. Has not allowed a run in 3 appearances, 4 1/3 innings of work, 4 strikeouts, and only 3 hits allowed. And he gets to be part of the George Washington battery mates with Nicholson, the George Washington catcher, behind the plate. So we play into the top of the 5th. 1-0 Big Train, and the top of the order due up. Dixon Williams, the lefty, gets things started. This is a Big Train lineup with just 2 righties in it. First pitch in, and it's inside, a ball and no strikes. Crochet, a guy who has a 3/4 delivery from the left side. 1-0. And Williams fouls it right back off the fence. Behind the plate, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, you're looking at a pitch-to-contact left-hander whose fastball out of high school maxed out in the high 80s, and those off-speed pitches, the changeup, the curveball, in the high 60s right now. So this is a strategic move to try to get some of these left-handed hitters out, maybe try to get them to chase curveballs outside.
1-1 to Williams, and the slider stays too far inside. It can't spin its way back to the zone. 2 balls and a strike. We've seen this move made by plenty of teams so far early in the season. The starter, and then go to a lefty reliever. It's the 2-1, popped high and foul over the third base seats and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Williams.
He's a guy with a good 3-pitch mix, though. The fastball, he's got the curveball, and he's got the changeup. Changeup's got some real good movement on it, too.
2-2, well outside. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Williams. Big Train would love to have a leadoff base runner in inning number 4. Crochet set. 3-2 pitch. Just downstairs with a fastball, ball 4, and they get exactly that. Williams aboard to lead off the inning on the walk.
Yeah, that's huge for an offense that has struggled today to get runners across home plate. Especially a new pitcher coming in, you really got to change your approach at the plate, especially if you're a left-handed hitter. But to get a leadoff base runner from a guy who has been doing it all lately.
As the first pitch into Rasmussen, a called strike at the knees. No balls and a strike the count. That walk, the first of the game for the Big Train. Cameron Keyshock, the starter, did not allow a walk through 4 innings. A look over to first, 0-1 pitch. Rasmussen chops it slowly to the right side. The second baseman, Esquivel, can't field it cleanly. It skips right through his legs, and it allows Rasmussen to reach it first. Williams moves over to second, and the Big Train off to a fantastic start in the top of the 5th with runners at first and second and nobody out.
Yeah, they were only going to get the out over at first, but you can see that Esquivel at second pulled up the glove a little bit early with that ball, then hitting off the bottom of it and going underneath of his legs.
Hurd stands in and takes a slider, called to strike downstairs, 0-1. Big Train have left 5 guys on base already, looking to capitalize. Almost halfway through this ball game. 0-1, runners go. Hurd squares the bunt and sends it foul towards the Aces dugout down the third base side. 0-2.
Yeah, I like Sal Colangelo going small ball here. We've seen it a lot so far, but a lot of the other situations that this has happened has been to get practice with it. This is really a big sacrifice situation, up only by a run in a pitcher's duel.
Look back to second, 0-2 pitch. And a good protective swing from Hurd as he fouls one over the third base seats. No balls and 2 strikes. The sun continues to set, hangs just over the trees down the left field line with a haze keeping the sun from showing its full strength. 0-2 pitch to Hurd, and he takes this slider inside. About knee high, but not over the plate. A ball and 2 strikes the count. Hurd 0 for 2 today. But a big hit here certainly changes his fortunes on the evening. Williams dances off the bag. There he goes. Swing and a miss from Hurd on the 1-2. Throw down to third from Nicholson. Well late. Dixon Williams with an excellent jump. Able to steal third. 1 away, but the runners move up. They're now at second and third for Jacob Orr.
This is the one guy through the first 5 hitters in the lineup who is a righty. So if Orr can get something in play here, the big train should get a run.
Maryland product at the plate. 2 on and 1 out. The first pitch to him, lines it into left field. Taylor races in, makes the catch on a line. Williams starts the tag, then stops. The ball scoots away from the catcher Nicholson on the throw from the left fielder Taylor, but not far enough to make Williams reconsider trying for a home. Orr hits the ball sharply, but there's 2 down.
That's the second time today we've seen an Alexandria pitcher not back up home plate on a throw in from left field. And for the second time they catch a break, that one hitting off of the catcher's gear and just kind of dribbling away a little bit. It might have saved a run from coming in.
So a meeting on the mound for Alexandria with Carter Cunningham at the plate and his 2 ECU teammates on second and third. With 2 down in the top of the 5th. 1-0 the big train lead.
And this is a guy who's had a lot of success for Alexandria. Last year, pitched to a sub-2 ERA in a little over 16 innings of work and a 4-0 record.
Part of that championship winning team. These teams met in the championship series last year and in 2021. The big train won the title 2 years ago. It was Alexandria winning their first last season. And they might meet again later in July for a 3rd straight. Cunningham at the plate. At third is Williams. At second is Rasmussen with 2 down. First pitch from Crochet. Cunningham ropes it down the first base line, but foul. Just barely. And it's no balls and a strike.
Cunningham ready for extra bases on that one. Just to the right side. You can kind of see the dirt kick up in the air when that ball hit. That's how hard he hit it.
So the count 0-1 as Crochet comes set, belt high. A deep breath on the mound. 0-1 pitch. Skips in the dirt. Nice block by the catcher Nicholson to keep it in front of him. It's a ball and a strike with 2 down. Williams creeps down the third base line. Rasmussen at second, 1-1. Cunningham bounces it right back up the middle. It's a base hit. In to score Williams. Rasmussen follows him. The throw to home from the center fielder Gregory is late, and the big train tack on 2. It's 3-0. And the 3 ECU Pirates come through on the 2 RBI single from Carter Cunningham, who moves all the way over to second. And the big train finally back on the board.
If the lefty had gotten out of this inning, the story of the game for the big train offense would have been runners left in scoring position. But that is massive for this team. A base hit up the middle, having to do that off the left-handed pitcher too.
Schiavone to the plate, a right-hander up to bat, and he takes a first pitch fastball down below the knees, a ball and no strikes. Cunningham at second. The big train would love another. Schiavone 1 for 2 on the day. 1-0. Another fastball again, a few inches below the knees of Schiavone. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Big train offense gets to the reliever Crochet. 2-0. Schiavone takes a slider, called a strike on the inside. He takes a step out to reset. Not loving that call, but a smile back on his face as he stands back in the box. In his second year with the big train. 2-1, runner on the move, and Schiavone fouls it off behind the plate, but it looks like it clips his left foot first. As he hobbles back to the batter's box. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 away. Always a smile on Schiavone's face, and even after hits the fastball off his foot, there's a smile. Resets in the box. Crochet has the sign. 2-2. Schiavone swings and misses at a fastball. It's a strikeout and it ends the inning. But the big train get 2 on the 2 RBI knock by Carter Cunningham. It's 3-0 Big Train. We're halfway home in Alexandria on the Big Train Baseball Network. Big Train fans, for the first time ever, the Bethesda Big Train Summer College team is traveling to New England to face 2 of the top teams from the NECBL, and you have an opportunity to come along for the ride. In addition to watching the Big Train play the Newport Gulls and the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, you'll get to watch the Orioles play the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, tour Citi Field, and Fenway Park, as well as historic Hincliffe Stadium in Paterson, New Jersey. To learn more and reserve your spot on the fan bus, email Bruce Adams at bruce@greaterwash.org. Bottom of the 5th, and the new pitcher for the Big Train is the right-hander from Florida State, Davian Hickson, as he takes over on the mound. Patrick Galley went 4 innings of scoreless baseball, and now the Big Train pass it over to their bullpen to take it the rest of the way.
Right-hander originally came out of IMG Academy, has a explosive fastball that out of high school was hitting at 94 miles an hour, and that has certainly gone up. Also has a really good curveball to go with it. Originally committed to Florida State.
2.25 ERA so far this summer for Hickson in 2 appearances. Went 3 scoreless against the T-Bolts 5 days ago. Faces the lefty Nick Gregory, a 9-hole hitter for the Aces. First pitch. Rifles a fastball in for a strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball upstairs, a foul tip right into the glove of Schiavone, 0-2. On deck is Tim Nicholson, the leadoff man. Hickson winds and deals, 0-2 pitch, and that fastball way upstairs. Not close, a ball and 2 strikes. The teal glove on the mound and the maroon cleats. Hickson rocks into the windup, wheels and deals a 1-2. Breaking ball, it's a called 3rd strike. Down goes Gregory, his first strikeout of the day on the mound. And there's 1 away in the bottom of the 5th.
It's the first time we see that breaking ball. It is nasty, that curveball he has. Can reach up to the 80s, anywhere from 81 to 83 miles an hour, and as low as 77, 78, 79, around that range as well.
So Nicholson to the plate, squares the bunt and bunts it right back to the mound. It goes up the dirt stripe from the mound to the plate, and Hickson fields and then takes a couple steps towards first where the underhand flip delivers to Cunningham for out number 2.
Yeah, interesting decision by the Aces. Not sure if it was to maybe try to catch Bethesda napping with Guerrero, the third baseman, playing back, but just hit right back to the mound. Exactly what you can't do in that situation if you're going to bunt. And just an easy underhanded flip for Hickson.
So 2 down and Corey Taylor back up. A double in the third. And he takes a first pitch slider inside, a ball and no strikes. Taylor with that bat over his right shoulder, 1-0. Takes that slider in the zone for a strike, even at 1-1.
Yeah, I'd like to see Hickson do that, kind of work that curveball a little bit earlier on in the count rather than using it as a put-away pitch.
1-1 to Taylor, and that breaking ball dips just off the outer corner. 2 balls and a strike the count to the Eastern Michigan product. Had his best year in college this past spring. The 2-1 upstairs with a slider, 3 balls and a strike. Hit near 300 with 7 home runs and 32 RBIs. Hickson rocks and deals a 3-1. Upstairs with a fastball, ball 4, and a 2-out walk for Taylor brings Gavin Miller to the plate. Taylor jogs down the line, takes off his batting gloves and pulls his runner's guard out of his back pocket to strap it on his right hand. The first pitch into Miller. Fastball outside, a ball and no strikes. Sun dips below the trees in left field. We're in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0. Miller sends a fly ball in the air to left center. The center fielder Ruddle races over. The left fielder Orr calls him off and makes the catch in the gap to end the inning. Hickson works around a 2-out walk. And the big train still holding the Aces scoreless through 5. On to the 6th. 3-0 big train. Top of the 6th, Big Train 3, Aces 0 on the Big Train Baseball Network. Jack Guerrero up to the plate for the Big Train as they look to add on to this 3-0 lead. Crochet on the mound. The lefty deals to a lefty at the plate and the slider inside. A ball and no strikes. Big Train scored 2 runs at the top of the 5th as the 1-0 hits Guerrero. And he gets first to lead off the inning.
Just looked like a pitch that got away from the lefty. It's sometimes tough to work the inside corner when you're facing left-handed hitters, especially somebody who isn't throwing sidearm, but kind of, like you said, 3/4 of the way. So a different arm angle, and just lost the command of that one.
Guerrero gets time to try and stretch out after being hit by the pitch. Brings John Long to the plate. The North Carolina blue cleats and the North Carolina shin guard for the Tar Heel. Pitch in. Breaks his bat, rolls one softly down the first base line. The first baseman, Oster, into field, but he has no play with no one covering the bag, and it's an infield broken bat single for John Long to put runners at first and second with nobody out.
That's twice now this year we've seen a broken bat single where the bat almost goes farther than the ball does, but when you have a situation like that and that happens, John Long with that speed, there's no chance you're going to be able to get him out. He is lightning going down that line.
And the bat split entirely in two, the vertical way.
Right. What do we got? We got Hurd's got one now. Ruffner's got one now. Long has one. Who am I missing? Somebody else broke their bat the other night. I can't remember who it was.
Zach Ruddle to the plate with 2 on and nobody out. The 9-hole hitter squares the bunt, puts it down the third base line, but it trickles foul. No balls and a strike. Big Train hoping to use small ball to pick up at least another run. Long off of first. The 0-1 pitch up and away to Ruddle, pulls back the bunt attempt, a ball and a strike. Crochet works a 1-1. Ruddle squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball 2 upstairs with a fastball. Nicholson, the catcher, tries a back pick down to second, but Guerrero easily back to the bag. It's 2 balls and a strike. Crochet deals a 2-1. Ruddle squares the bunt. This time he comes up empty. Throw back to second. Guerrero this time has to dive, but he gets in just safely. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nicholson, the catcher, being aggressive in the top half of the 6th.
Yeah, Guerrero has that extra jump right now with Ruddle showing bunt, and Ruddle missed it. So Guerrero was off the bag way further than he should have been.
2-2, Guerrero on the move, and Ruddle fouls it right back to the screen. It stays 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I like seeing the Big Train try to send these runners here. Coach G down at third giving everyone signs right now. They did it earlier in the game with 2 strikes, moving them or putting them in motion. If the bunt's not going to work, you got to get them over there at some point in time.
The man who stole third on deck, Dixon Williams, the leadoff man.
The hope is that Ruddle can put the ball in play when they're off and running too. Try to get an RBI here.
2-2 from Crochet. The slider spins inside to Ruddle. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Expect the runners to be on the move here?
Yeah, actually I do. Wouldn't surprise me if they don't, you know, if you really want to keep those base runners. But this is a situation that we've seen before. Full count, nobody out, put the runners in motion.
There they go, 3-2 pitch, skips in the dirt, back to the backstop. Nicholson scoops it up, but it's ball 4 to Ruddle. And the bases are loaded with nobody out in the top of the 6th.
Well, there you go.
And a meeting on the mound. This could be it for Reese Crochet.
You know, something interesting about Crochet is that his command, it's been a little off right now. Last year, when he was with Alexandria, he didn't allow a wild pitch, or excuse me, he didn't throw a wild pitch, I should rephrase that, in the 16 1/3 innings of work, which is not easy to do, especially when you face a lot of lefty hitters and you use a breaking ball as much as he does.
Well, a wild pitch would allow a run to score. 3-0 Big Train, top of the 6th, nobody out, and the base is loaded. Guerrero at third, Long at second, Ruddle at first for the leadoff man, Dixon Williams. A lefty on lefty battle at the plate. Pitch in. Williams takes downstairs a ball and no strikes. Big Train trying to break this game wide open. Trying to get the Aces demons off their back. 7 straight losses to Alexandria. 1-0 to Williams. Fastball called a strike on the outer half, even at 1-1. Crochet comes set. 1-1 to Williams. Grounds one sharply to the right side. Esquivel, the second baseman, flips to the shortstop, Grego for one. Back to first in time for the double play. But Guerrero comes in to score. It's 4-0 Big Train, but now 2 away after the double play.
Yeah, a little frustrating that you ground into a double play there, but in the end, the run does come in to score. It's huge for this game and these two teams, and South Colangelo, I'm sure, is not going to complain about that, at least getting 1 run in on that play.
Rasmussen to the plate with a runner at third and 2 down, and takes the first pitch downstairs. A fastball, a ball, and no strikes. The speedy Long at third with 2 away. 1-0. Long dances off the line, and Rasmussen takes fastball up the stairs again. 2 balls and no strikes. 4-0 Big Train in the top of the 6th. 2-0. And Rasmussen slashes it straight back to the screen. It's 2 balls and a strike. Best 2 teams in the league meeting for the 2nd time this summer. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss from Rasmussen. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. And every game between these 2 teams matters. They've met in the championship series the last 2 years. The best record in the league gets to host the 2-2. A sharp ground ball to the left side. The shortstop, Grego, fields as he moves to his left, slings it over to first in time to get Rasmussen, and the inning comes to an end. The Big Train load the bases and get 1 across. But Reese Crochet limits the damage. 4-0 Bethesda as we head to the bottom of the 6th on the Big Train Baseball Network. To the bottom of the 6th, Davian Hickson returns to the mound, and the Aces still looking for their offense. Down 4-0. It's 4, 5, and 6 2 up. Jonah Oster gets things started. First baseman to a bit of a slow start for Alexandria. Hitting under 230. See, takes a first pitch curveball inside from Hickson, a ball and no strikes. Limited playing time for Campbell, hit .393 with a home run. As the 1-0 breaking ball hits the outside corner, even at a ball and a strike.
Hey, Hickson's simple right now, just going with that two-pitch mix, the fastball and then the curveball.
1-1, there's another curveball. And he throws it in for a strike again, and the count moves to 1-2.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, you need, what I said last inning is you need to start using that curveball more like earlier counts, 1-1, 1-0.
1-2, swing and a miss at the curveball. It's a strikeout for Hickson, his second of the day. And there's one away in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, he relies heavily on the location of that curveball as well. Right there, had a couple of pitches up with the curveball, this one dropping down into the dirt almost.
Alex Wade to the plate, takes the first pitch low and inside, a ball and no strikes with the fastball. Patrick Galley had 7 strikeouts. Hickson has added 2 more, up to 9 on the day for the Aces. As the 1-0 called a strike with a fastball in the zone. Ball and a strike the count, with 1 away. Hickson rocks the windup, 1-1. It's inside with the breaking ball, 2 balls and a strike. The sun looks like an orange orb through the trees down the left field line. 2-1 pitch. Inside with a fastball, 3 balls and a strike. The count to Alex Wade. Hickson shakes off his catcher Schiavone. Now has the pitch he likes, 3-1. Curveball drops into the zone for a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count with 1 away. And Hickson has shown great command over that curveball. As he works quickly, 3-2. Fastball, Wade chops it down the third base line. Oh, what a play by the third base coach. Scoops it up with 1 hand.
That's usually a sign that they played baseball at some point in time as well, you know, infield.
I was going to say, not just baseball, infield.
Right, yeah.
Lost it on the transfer, but give him credit. No error on the play. 3-2 again. Fastball, swing and a miss. Upstairs, and Wade goes down for the 2nd strikeout of the inning. 3rd strikeout of the outing for Hickson as he's worked 1 2/3 innings. And with 2 away, Nate Polo to the plate.
He did the same thing there he did with the curveball on the previous strikeout. Going with the same pitch, only thing he does is just change the elevation of it. Went low and then went high there.
As Polo takes one outside with a fastball, a ball and no strikes. The Penn product has struck out twice so far, looking to avoid the hat trick. 1-0. Curveball drops onto the top of the zone, even at a ball and a strike. Polo 6'4" at the plate, so strike zone a little bit bigger. Some other guys on the Aces. 1-1. That curveball drops below the knees. It's 2 balls and a strike. Polo from Port Matilda, Pennsylvania, just outside of State College, where Penn State is located. 2-1. Fastball rifles in and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. Hickson looks quite comfortable on the mound as he waits for Polo to get back in the box. He's ready. So's Hickson. 2-2. Fastball outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. So the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 away. The curveball. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Hickson strikes out the side, his 4th strikeout through 2 innings. And the Big Train are through 6 with a 4-0 lead over the Aces. Welcome back to Frank Mann Field in Alexandria, Virginia. 4-0 the Big Train lead as we head to the top of the 7th, and the new arm for the Aces on the mound is Tommy Lamar. Faces the 3-hitter Jeffrey Hurd, and the first pitch in is a fastball that pinpoints at the knees, 0-1. Lamar in his 4th game of the season has a 3 ERA, 6 innings pitched, 0-1. And Hurd hits a high fly ball in the air to left. Taylor, the left fielder, drifts back and backpedals his way in front of the warning track to make the catch for out number 1. It's the 2nd time Lamar has faced the Big Train this summer. Met in their first game of the year back on June 6. Went 3 scoreless innings, striking out 4. Pitch into Jacob Orr, and the fastball dips inside, a ball and no strikes.
He's got a nice little mix of the fastball, which is in the low 90s right now.
1-0, and the breaking ball hits the inside corner to even the count at 1-1.
Yeah, that curve is something special as well, has good depth to it.
1-1 pitch. Upstairs with a fastball just above the letters Bethesda on the black uniform that Jacob Orr wears. 2 balls and a strike. Lamar deals 2-1. Inside with a fastball. 3 balls and a strike. For a guy in Orr who's playing for his 3rd different team in the Cal Ripken League over the last 3 summers. Played for Silver Spring Tacoma 2021 as he lines one foul to the right side, and the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Played for only the Crop Dusters last year, and now with the Big Train. Here's the 3-2. Grounds one off the end of the bat to the right side. The first baseman, Osterfields, flips with the underhand to Lamar, covering the bag, and the pitcher steps on first to get Orr for out number 2. 3-1 on the putout. Carter Cunningham to the plate with 2 down. A 2 RBI single in the top of the 5th to add some insurance for the Big Train. Pitch in. He swings and drives one down the right field line. Cunningham watches it go, and it is just foul.
Yeah, he turned on a hanging curveball and just yanked it a little bit foul down that line.
Lamar catches a break.
You're lucky, Tim. You're lucky.
It's the 0-1 as he resets in the box and takes a strike. A few feet foul, and now instead down 0-2. Lamar 1 strike away from getting out of the top of the 7th. 0-2 pitch, well upstairs with a fastball. Ball and 2 strikes. Jason Schiavone on deck. 1-2 pitch. Curveball just outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cunningham off to a red hot start. That was almost his 2nd home run in 2 games. 2-2. He drives this one in the air to center. Back goes the center fielder Gregory, but on a line, and he is there to make the catch and end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Big Train. 7th inning stretch from Alexandria. 4-0 the Big Train lead. Bottom of the 7th from Alexandria, Virginia at Frank Mann Field. It's the Big Train 4 and the Aces 0 in a battle for first place in the Cal Ripken League. Bottom third of the order due up to face Davian Hickson, back out for his third inning of work. 4 strikeouts through 2 innings, just the walk allowed. Dylan Grego gets things started, the shortstop from Ball State. First pitch in, takes a fastball outside, a ball and no strikes. Hickson struck out the side in the bottom of the 6th. Winds and deals a 1-0. And Grego fouls one over the third base, seats out of play, a ball and a strike. Hickson went to high school at IMG Academy, college at Florida State. 1-1. Breaking ball, the curveball stays a bit upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Hickson winds and deals a 2-1. And the curveball drops onto the outside corner to the frustration of Dylan Grego. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's impressive that Hickson can operate with just 2 pitches. It means you got to have real good command of both of them, because then it gets predictable if one is better than the other.
Here's the 2-2. Fastball, and Grego skies one high in the air down the left field line. Long run for the left fielder, or into foul territory, and he makes the catch by the Alexandria bullpen, 1 away.
That's a great job by Orr. He had to go a long way for that one. That one hit into foul territory, drifting near the 308 sign. Got to stay with it. My worry was maybe he would overrun it, but impressive by the left fielder to be able to get a hold of that one.
Chris Esquivel to the plate, and he takes the curveball in for a strike, 0-1. Orr came into college as an infielder, but Maryland needed help in the outfield this past spring, so he has become a super utility guy. As the 0-1 outside with a fastball, a ball and a strike. Got the start on opening day for Maryland after their right fielder Matt Woods hurt his back weightlifting that morning. 1-1, a strike called on the fastball to Esquivel. 1-2 the count with 1 down, and Orr ran away with it after he hit a grand slam and a triple on opening day. The 1-2 curveball skips in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Esquivel. Became a staple in the lineup for the Terrapins throughout the season. Hickson deals a 2-2. Curveball stays inside. And the count 3 balls and 2 strikes to Esquivel. Sun is set. Still some light, but the light's turned on at Frank Mann Field. 3-2. Curveball, called strike 3. It stays up at the top of the zone, but gets the call. The 5th strikeout for Hickson, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, that curveball has been untouchable so far, especially over the last 2 innings.
Nick Gregory to the plate and takes a fastball well up and away, a ball and no strikes.
Yeah, the only ball put into play over the last 2 innings was that fly ball to Orr.
As Gregory chops a fastball into the dirt, it bounces high and rolls foul down the first base line. Ball and a strike, the count with 2 away.
And that pitch from Hickson was a fastball that Grego had swung late on and hit it into foul territory.
2 away in the bottom of the 7th. 4-0 the Big Train lead. 1-1. Gregory lines one on the way to the right side. Williams fields on a hop at second, throws to first in time to end the inning. Breaking ball brilliance from Davian Hickson. He's thrown 3 scoreless, and it's a 4-0 Big Train lead as we head to the 8th in Alexandria. Top of the 8th from Frank Manfield in Alexandria. 4-0 the Big Train lead, and back to the mound for the Aces goes Thomas Lamar. Set down the Big Train in order. Faces Jason Schiavone to get things started. And a first pitch fastball inside. Schiavone holds his swing up. Ball and no strikes. 1-0. Schiavone takes a fastball downstairs, but called to strike. 1-1.
Yeah, if I'm Big Train hitters, I would get ready for that curveball from this guy.
1-1, and there it is, right on cue. A ball and 2 strikes. Our pitching genius, Adam Glover. There's the 1-2. Curveball stays inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's used it a lot outside of the Cunningham, first pitch that he saw that he pulled. He's used it a lot in 1 strike and 2 strike counts.
2-2, Schiavone lines one right center field. It's down into the gap for a base hit. Takes a big turn at first, heads for second. The throw from the right fielder, Wade, is not in time. The tag applied by the shortstop, Grego, just late. And Schiavone leads off the top of the 8th with a double.
Yeah, Schiavone got aggressive on a ball in the gap that he should have been thrown out on. The throw was a little off the bag at second. And when Schiavone slid in, the shortstop put the tag around the chest, the Bethesda across that black uniform, and those feet got in. And that's the only reason he was safe on that one. That tag was just too high.
A brilliant slide from Schiavone. And the Big Train in business in the top of the 8th. A runner on second, nobody out for Guerrero. And he takes a first pitch fastball. That plants itself on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. Guerrero 1 for 2, also hit by a pitch. 0-1. Curveball in the dirt. Nice block by Nicholson behind the plate to keep it in front. A ball and a strike. Schiavone stays at second. Guerrero shrugs his shoulders as he stands back in. On a 1-1. Takes a fastball low and outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Got to be careful with a breaking ball here to Guerrero. The second pitch was a breaking ball that was in the dirt. That's what you got to do, kind of work it low. If it stays up, Guerrero's going to line it into the outfield.
2-1. Guerrero takes a fastball inside. 3 balls and a strike. Big Train looking to beat the Aces for the first time in 360 days. They have lost the last 7 meetings against Alexandria, but in a great spot here. 3-1 to Guerrero. And it's upstairs, ball 4. A walk with nobody out puts runners at first and second for John Long.
The last 2 hitters, he had Schiavone in a 2-strike count with the breaking balls, and then gave him the fastball, which he doubled off of, and then that plate appearance by Guerrero, 5 pitches, 4 fastballs.
Long squares the bunt, instead pulls it back and takes a strike on a fastball. First baseman Oster crashing hard on the play. Lamar set, the 0-1. Low and outside, a ball and a strike. Coach G, the third base coach for the Big Train, waves his hand in front of his face to give the sign to Long. Long bunts it right back to the mound. Lamar fields, bobbles it for a split second, throw to first, just in time to get John Long. The second baseman Esquivel covering the bag, but it goes down as a sacrifice bunt. Schiavone moves over to third, and Jack Guerrero moves to second with 1 away.
Yeah, Long does what he has to do, almost beat it out. That ball popping out of the right-hander, Tommy Lamar's glove. And he caught it with his bare hand before throwing it over to first, but we've already seen Long beat 1 out today, almost did it again.
Ruddle to the plate and takes a first pitch curveball in the dirt. Nicholson able to block it barely. Keeps Schiavone at third. The infield in for the Aces. In the top of the 8th, 4-0 Big Train with 2 in scoring position and only 1 down, and the count of ball and no strikes to the LSU rising sophomore Zeb Ruddle. 1-0. He swings and breaks his bat. A little looper into left field. It's the left fielder Taylor who lets it hit off his glove and bound into left center. Schiavone into score. Guerrero to third. Ruddle into second on the error. And Corey Taylor in left field just misplays the baseball, and it allows the Big Train to bring home run number 5. 5-0 Big Train in the top of the 8th.
I mean, first of all, broken bat. Ruddle's bat goes into right field. That's how far his bat went. This ball goes to the opposite field, and the left fielder out there, Taylor, ranging out toward left center, trying to make a catch, and then it goes over his head. Tried to make a play with the glove, and then went right off it.
So that is going to be the end of the day for Tommy Lamar. The Big Train still threatening a lefty to come in to face the top of the order. When we return, 5-0 Big Train with 1 out in the top of the 8th. Dixon Williams to the plate when we return. I welcome you back to Frank Mann Field in Alexandria, Virginia. Big Train with runners at second and third, 1 down, and the hitter Dixon Williams to face the new pitcher, the lefty Brent Herman. 2.25 ERA, making his 3rd appearance out of the bullpen. 4 innings pitched, has 3 strikeouts. Pitched 2 days ago against the Senators through a scoreless inning. Lefty on lefty matchup. At third is Guerrero, at second is Ruddle. The infield is in for Alexandria. Already 1 in the top of the 8th. And a 5-0 ball game. The pitch home to Williams. And the slider spins its way outside. A ball and no strikes. First base is open. But this is the heart of the order for the Big Train. 1-0. Williams pops one up left side. The third baseman, Miller, gives it a look over near the fence, and he can't make the catch as he crashes into the fence just to the right of the Aces dugout. It's a ball and a strike to Williams.
Herman had a good year at Allegheny College. That ERA just south of 4.5. Again, can be a little bit difficult when you only work 48 2/3 innings, but had a few really solid outings during his time there.
A 1-1. Swing and a miss at a slider in the dirt from Williams. A ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 to Williams. Swing and a miss at the slider, a strikeout. is recorded as out number 2. And with 2 away, Connor Rasmussen to the plate.
Yeah, big change here for Bethesda. You went from facing a righty who was strictly fastball, curveball, with that curveball command not quite there. Now you have to go up against a left-hander whose slider is really, really good, breaking away towards the opposite batter's box.
First pitch to Rasmussen, a slider in the dirt. Nice block by Nicholson with runners at second and third, and 2 down. The Aces trying to get to the bottom of the 8th, down just 5. One out. Fastball called a strike on the outside, even at 1-1.
Fastball in the 80s, doesn't use it as much as that breaking ball, but has an effective one when needed.
1-1 pitch. Rasmussen lines it into left center field. Taylor, the left fielder, over and into the gap, makes the catch to end the inning. But the big train strike for 1 on 2 hits with 2 left. We head to the bottom of the 8th, 5-0 Bethesda. We welcome you back to the bottom of the 8th. A correction from the top half of the inning. It goes as a double for Zeb Ruddle off the glove of the left fielder, Corey Taylor. So an RBI double for Ruddle gives him his first hit of the day and an RBI. Bottom of the 8th, 5-0 Big Train in Alexandria, trying to take the top spot in the league back from the Aces. And back to the mound comes Davian Hickson for his 4th inning of work. He has gone 3 innings without allowing a run or a hit and 5 strikeouts. Top of the order due up. Tim Nicholson to face him. The first pitch, a fastball and a big hearty cut, comes up with nothing but air for Nicholson. No balls and a strike. The 8th inning was the inning that the Aces got the Big Train last time they met, as the curveball drops below the knees, even at a ball and a strike. A 9-run inning for Alexandria to pull clear of the Big Train and go on to win in Bethesda, 1-1. Curveball called a strike on the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes as Hickson continues to have great command of that pitch. Works quickly, 1-2. Curveball skips in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Big Train looked for some revenge. 6 outs away from victory. 2-2. Nicholson hits a fastball in the air to left field, or the left fielder ranges back over towards the line. At the warning track, he makes the catch for out number 1. Corey Taylor to the plate with 1 down. The last hit for Alexandria came back in the 3rd inning. And Taylor was the man who had it. A double to right field as the first pitch curveball drops into the zone. No balls and a strike. Hickson winds and deals an 0-1. Curveball and Taylor pops it up. First base side and out of play over the first base seats. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Hickson, deep breath on the mound. Shakes off Schiavone the first time and a second. Make it 3 and he steps off to reset. Not on the same page on this 0-2 pitch. Now they have one they like. Here it comes. Fastball called strike 3, and Taylor goes down on the 6th strikeout of the day for Davian Hickson. 2 away.
Yeah, I like seeing Hickson use that fastball more as that put-away pitch. A little bit earlier, it was the curveball. Now the curveball is used more earlier in at-bats.
As Miller takes a curveball in at his feet, and he dances out of the way. A ball and no strikes.
So it keeps the hitters off balance when they're thinking curveball.
1-0, another curveball downstairs. Schiavone scoops it out of the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes.
Now this will be interesting. This is one of the first times we've seen Hickson kind of fall behind against a hitter.
Here comes the 2-0. That's downstairs with a fastball. To the backstop it goes. 3 balls and no strikes to Miller. Hickson is yet to allow a hit, but has allowed a walk. Back in the 5th inning. We're in the bottom of the 8th with the big train up 5-0. 2 down. Here's the 3-0. And Hickson rifles a fastball into the zone. Make it 3 balls and a strike. Three-one pitch. Miller loops one into left field over the head of the third baseman Guerrero and down the line. Or to cut it off, holds Miller to a single. And it's a 2-out knock for Gavin Miller. First hit since the 3rd inning for the Aces. And their first base runner since the 5th. With 2 down, Jonah Oster to the plate. First pitch to Oster. And Hickson back ahead of the count, 0-1 with a fastball. Hickson a look over to first as he works from the stretch. 0-1 pitch. Curveball skips in the dirt. Nice job by Schiavone to keep it in front. It's a ball and a strike as Miller remains at first. Hickson up to 58 pitches on the day. 1-1. And Oster pops it up on the first base side. It gets out of play over towards the parking lot. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. Miller remains at first. 2 stolen bases on the season for him. He stays there, 1-2, and the curveball drops off the table outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it looks like the command for Hickson starting to slip away a little bit, especially on that curveball, missing the low. Might be the end of the line for him shortly.
2-2 pitch. Fastball well upstairs over the head of Schiavone and to the backstop. And over to second moves Gavin Miller on the wild pitch. The count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oster with a pair of strikeouts so far. Hitless on the day. Looking to drive home the first run for the Aces in the bottom of the 8th, down 5. 3-2. Curveball. Oster chases it in the dirt. Schiavone scoops it up and tags him out. It's another strikeout for Hickson, his 7th. He works 4 scoreless innings, and we head to the 9th in Alexandria. The big train up 5-0. To the ninth we go. 5-0 Big Train on the Big Train Baseball Network. New pitcher in for the Aces is Brendan Gray to face Jeffrey Hurd in the first pitch home. A fastball zips in for a strike, 0-1. Gray, a right-hander from Allegheny College, making his first appearance of the summer for the Aces. 0-1. Fastball downstairs, a ball and a strike to Hurd. Big Train 3 outs away from beating the Aces for the first time in 2023. 1-1. Big cut and a miss from Hurd on the fastball, a ball and 2 strikes. Gray set, 1-2. Breaking ball, the curveball dips downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It has been a dominant stretch for the Big Train over the last 5 games, and that has carried into tonight. One-two pitch. Fastball upstairs. Hurd lays off. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Including tonight, so almost the last 6 games, the Big Train have outscored opponents 76-7. 2-2. Swing and a miss from Hurd, well laid on the fastball. It goes down as a strikeout to begin the top of the 9th. With 1 away, Jacob Orr back to the plate.
Yeah, Hurd hasn't had his best stuff over the last few games. He had a huge game in D.C., 4 hits, a 3-run home run, reached base all 5 times, but since then struck out a lot, kind of swinging at everything. The lefties coming on have really caused him some issues, but he'll get back on track soon.
As Orr to the plate takes a fastball inside, a ball and no strikes. Big Train with 3 shutouts over the last 5 games coming into the night. 3 outs away from a 4th. It's the 1-0 downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Bethesda half game behind the Aces coming into the evening. Could take the lead in the league. The team that has the best offense and the best pitching staff. 2-0, and Orr pops it high and foul behind the plate. 2 balls and a strike. It's a Big Train offense that leads the league in almost every major statistical category. Hits, doubles, triples, home runs, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and OPS. 2-1. Downstairs with the breaking ball, 3 balls and a strike. The OPS one is because of the math. Yeah, the slugging percentage and the on-base percentage. But when you lead in both, you can have a big lead in that category. And they do. 3-1 pitch. Orr drills one into left field. Corey Taylor heads back, and he turns the left fielder in the left center field gap to make the catch for out number 2. So Carter Cunningham to the plate. 2-hit day, scored a run and 2 RBIs, but his biggest swing of the day was a ball that he hit just foul down the right field line. Would have been his 2nd home run as he takes a first pitch fastball, skips 3 or 4 feet in front of home plate, a ball and no strikes. Cunningham off to a fantastic start this summer, just as he did a summer ago. 1-0. Chops one foul down the first base line. It almost hooks back into fair territory as it hits the lip of the grass, but rolls around the base and then across the foul line. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, it got in on the hands and yanked that one foul. That fastball way up and in. Looked like it hit kind of the middle of the bat.
Gray set on the mound, 1-1. Cunningham drives one to right field. Back goes the right fielder, Wade, and it is gone. Carter Cunningham. It's off the wall. Correction, we couldn't see. Oh, it's caught. Couldn't see anything in right field, and that ends the inning. So we head to the bottom of the ninth. It's 5-0 Big Train on the Big Train Baseball Network. The final countdown plays at Frank Mann Field. We head to the bottom of the ninth. The Big Train lead 5-0 and 3 outs away from snapping their 7-game losing streak to the Aces that dates back to last year. Evan Marcinko on the mound to close things out in his 3rd appearance for the Big Train. One of the returners from last year. 4 1/3 innings pitched so far, 4 strikeouts, just 1 run allowed. Big 5-run cushion. Alex Wade to the plate for the Aces.
The guy with a good 2-pitch mix of a fastball and a breaking ball. That fastball, though, is what he primarily likes to use. Really, really good pitch. The velocity a few years ago coming out of high school, 84, but this one well in the 90s.
First pitch in, and the fastball low and inside. A ball and no strikes. Wade 0 for 3 today. 1-0. Fastball rifles in at the knees for a strike, even at 1-1. Galley went 4 innings, struck out 7, didn't allow a run. Davian Hickson pitched the next 4, struck out 7. Didn't allow a run, and now Marcinko just looks to finish 1 inning to close this thing out. 1-1 pitch and the fastball downstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Two-one pitch. Inside to Wade. It's 3 balls and a strike. Aces need base runners in the 9th, down by 5. Marcinko set. 3-1. Wade chops it sharply up the middle, and it scoots into center field for a leadoff single.
Yeah, Rasmussen ranging towards the middle, had his glove up, hoping that ball would hit off the edge of the grass and pop up, but stayed low and just kept on going up the middle. That's what Alexandria needs. They need base runners, and they get one here.
Nate Polo to the plate. 3 strikeouts on the day. Looks to continue the rally for the Aces. Down to their final 3 outs. Marcinko set. First pitch. Fastball low and outside, a ball and no strikes. There's the 1-0. Upstairs with a fastball, pops out of the glove of Schiavone. 2 balls, no strikes, and once again, Marcinko falls behind Polo. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Downstairs with a fastball. 3 balls and no strikes.
Hey, sticking with that pitch right now, not finding the zone.
Trying to find the command. On deck is Dylan Grego. Long hold, 3-0. That fastball fires in for a strike. 3-1 the count.
That's the thing about Marcinko. He uses that fastball so much that he runs into issues specifically if that pitch is not on, because he doesn't have this big arsenal of 4 or 5 different pitches to go to.
3-1. There's another strike with the fastball on the inside corner, and the count is full with nobody out and a runner at first in the bottom of the 9th. Big Train trying to take down the Aces. 3-2. Fastball just downstairs. Ball 4. Runners at first and second with nobody out.
Already a tricky spot, but he does have the bottom of the order here. This is a good team, so there isn't really a weak spot in the lineup, but he doesn't have to worry about some of these really tough hitters at the top of the lineup. See if he can get a ground ball here. Try to turn 2. At the very least, get 1 out.
First pitch into Grego, and he takes a strike. Hitting from the right side, 0-1. First lefty on the mound for the Big Train. At second is Wade, at first is Pola. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss at the fastball. Ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. As the manager, Sal Colangelo moves. John Long over and right. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. A strikeout of Grego, and the fastball goes right by him for out number 1.
Yeah, that's huge. Those last 2, Grego nowhere close. Swung late on both of them. And now Marcinko all of a sudden has found the command of that pitch.
With 1 away, Chris Esquivel to the plate. And he takes the first pitch on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. Fastball hits the zone. 2 outs away are the Big Train. 0-1. Swing and a miss from Esquivel. 0-2. 0-2 pitch. Fastball upstairs to the backstop. It wedges between the pads behind the plate. So the runners get to move over without any worry. Runners at second and third on the wild pitch. But they don't matter with the Big Train up 5 in the bottom of the 9th. 1-2 count to Esquivel. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. The fastball strikes him out. And the Big Train 1 out away.
2 big outs now, going back to that fastball that, the previous pitch got away from him, just missed a little bit of command up. But that's what he's sticking with. He's not really working anything else right now, just that fastball. He has confidence in it.
And a great pitch it is. Gregory to the plate with 2 down. First pitch home, a foul tip into the glove of Schiavone. No balls and a strike. The Aces have had the Big Train number for the last year. 7 straight wins. But the Big Train have them on the ropes tonight. The 0-1 fouled back. And the Big Train 1 strike away. 1 strike away from taking back the top spot in the league. 0-2. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. That's the ball game. The big train flipped the cards on the Aces. Take the top spot back in the Cal Ripken League and win it 5-0 in Alexandria.
What a time to throw the first breaking ball the entire inning. 0-2, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Nobody in the stadium is expecting a breaking ball. Everybody's thinking fastball the whole time, and he freezes him. He gets 3 consecutive strikeouts. Marcinko electric after allowing those first 2 hitters to reach.
A 5-0 win for the big train. 17 strikeouts from the pitching staff. Galley went 4, Hickson went 4, and Marcinko finished things off in the 9th.
Yeah, you're going to look at this game as the season goes on. This is probably the best game this team has played so far this year, especially on the pitching side. Hickson was outstanding. Patrick Galley, of course, was awesome as well. Coach Lopez and manager Sal Colangelo, they have to be thrilled with what this team did here tonight.
A dominant win and a 6-game win streak for the big train as they head home for a 5-game homestand that starts tomorrow night. Well, that's going to do it here in Alexandria for us. For Adam Glover, our producer, Harrison Myers, I'm Eli Kleinman. So long. The big train take down the Aces. Back in first place, a 5-0 win.